Hi guys, this week we're going to talk about tone and how to achieve it. It's one of those elusive things when people say it has an interesting tone or it doesn't have a consistent tone or what is tone? We're going to look at that. But first, thanks to everyone who's done this. If you like, subscribe, it really helps the channel. If you share, it's even better. Comments, like Bearded Screenwriter and the other guys that come in here regular, it really helps the channel. So thank you in advance for that. The shop I didn't set up, so of course the books are still available, Tools Not Rules and logline, t-shirts, that sort of stuff. All the links are below, and 20% off Writer Duet for you. I make no money out of that. That is just a gift for you from Writer Duet through me. Okay, let's get started. Tone. I've got a few notes down here. I'm not ignoring you. Tone. The first thing we should look at when we're talking about tone is word choice. Are we using happy things in our descriptions? Are we short, sharp, funny little sentences? Are we using Douglas Adams type stuff? It hung in the air the same way bricks don't. Are we doing that? That will set the tone for the overall, whatever the characters are doing. How you communicate with the audience and with the reader is part of the tone. So make sure the way you write is consistent with the story, because you are the camera, you're the director, you're the costume designer, the lighting technician. I'm going to need light down here, that's if I look a bit bright. You're all those things. So that's in the big print, as we call it in Australia, or in the action lines. So as long as that's a consistent tone, think, are we using short words, sharp words? Are we using conjunctions? Are we saying things like cannot rather than can't? Or are we using lots of adverbs? Or are we sticking to very, very basic English? He jumped rather than he leapt, or he parkoured his way through the lounge room. Whatever the words are, what words you use in that will set the tone. Word choice. Next thing about tone is genre expectations. What is the genre expecting in tone? If it's a horror, of course, it's going to expect dark, dreary, horror type stuff. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you know, sunny, shiny, it's all everything that a Pee-wee film would have in it. So it has that thing, it's the genre gives people tonal expectations. So you have to rise to those expectations, which means you get free stuff. If it's a horror film, people are going to be expecting a dark tone, so they will read it with a dark tone. If it's a romantic comedy, they'll read it with a romantic leaning. They'll see, oh, I love that, and they'll see it with that, you know, I love it, as in, that's amazing, as in, would you like sauce? Yeah, I love that. It's a throwaway line in a drama. It would not, the word love wouldn't carry the same weight. So use the genre expectations to help set your tone and make sure you stay consistent with the tone. So if we're writing something like A Beautiful Mind, or something where it's set in science, again, your action lines, so we're going to work our way through this, your action lines would also feel scientific. It would feel appropriate. It wouldn't have teenage boy humor in the action lines. If we're writing Oppenheimer, the direction of Oppenheimer, which is a bad example because that was all written in the first person, but a film like Oppenheimer would be as serious in the tone. The genre gives you the expectation, so the action lines pay it off, and you have to set things in that way. But the genre already makes people read it in that way, if that makes sense. You're setting the expectation in their mind that what they're going to read is going to be serious. I may come back to that. Dialogue. When you're writing the character's dialogue, this is a huge thing that sets tone, because when people watch a film, they see it and they hear it. And this is 50% of the film, what they're going to say, what they're going to talk about. So you've got to write the character's dialogue in the tone that you want. So if it's going to be a gangster film, they're going to maybe be profane, they're going to be more violent, they're going to use sarcasm a lot. I watched The Godfather of Harlem, great show, and someone will come in and make a statement, and I can't think of the character's name. He works out of a junkyard, Italian guy, reminds me of Humphrey Bogart, the actor. I love that character. And someone will say something and he goes, cop the balls on this guy. Like, He's not really asking that, but that's the sort of stuff, and that sets the tone. That's how gangsters talk. They talk in that sort of way. So you've got to make sure that the dialogue fits that. Not when someone comes in and makes a claim, they don't go, well, that's a very bold assertion you're making there. Are you sure that you can live up to such a thing? Because I'll have high expectations of what you're asking of yourself. That would not be how a gangster talks. The dialogue has to fit. It has to be, cop the guy, balls on this guy, not the, are you sure that you can reach the expectations that you're setting in this conversation? Understand how your characters talk in the genre, in the tone, in the words that you're using. So your word choice comes into the genre. The genre will inform the character, the readers and the audience how to consume your story, and then the dialogue, which 50% of the story, has to fit in with that. Otherwise, we're going to have a break of expectation along the way. Pacing and rhythm. This is the other thing too. If it's a horror film, it might start slow. It gets going. While it's getting going, the characters don't know the movie they're in. They're walking around, hey, we're smoking a few joints, hanging out in a cabin in the woods, whatever. We're having a great time. We're stupid teenagers, and we're about to be punished for having sex, which is what happened in every horror film in the 90s. So we're in the cabin in the woods. We're having a great time. We're completely unaware that we're in the middle of a horror film, and then bang, it hits. So the pace. Action, death, death, action, fight back, don't fight back, try to fight back, think they're going to win, they lose, the villain comes back, the monster comes back, it's a different villain, we're fighting against the wrong thing, all those things. So you're pacing. But if you have a horror story and it's really fast, it's really frantic, people are going, oh my God, what's going to happen when a movie starts? And then when the horror starts, it gets really slow. And the monster takes his time, and the people decide that they're going to do some study for their university because, they can't get out. The monster's got them trapped. So they may as well practice for a pop quiz that might pop up next week. And they're going to talk about the existential fear of, we may die at the hands of a monster. No. So your pacing is the tone, and it will set the tone. I tried to read Lord of the Rings when I was young, and as many of you know, dyslexic and a brain injury, can't really read. So I thought I'm going to sit down, even if it takes me my lifetime, I'm going to finish this book because my brother loves this book. And I said to him only a couple of years ago, we're in our 50s, and I said, I just couldn't get into it. I read the first 100 pages and it just put me to sleep. It's the slowest freaking thing in the world. And he went, oh no, you've stopped just when it's about to get good. The first 100 pages are a slog, and then it's a 1,300 page car chase. It's magnificent after that. Once you get past Bilbo's party, bang, you're away. That's the tone. This thing is an absolute cannonball of a book, but you've got to get past that slow bit at the start. I couldn't beat that bit of tone, that slowness of it, the detail, how much detail Tolkien was putting in. He was setting up so much stuff to get us into that world. I just couldn't get past that. But your pacing and your rhythm is tonal as well. He wanted to have that tone, Tolkien. He wanted to have the tone of, look, this is an old world. It's ancient. The Shire is, people haven't left the Shire in hundreds of years. It's an old world. So it was slow. But once it was going and evil came in, it was all disrupted. The pace changed, the rhythm changed. And that will also set your tone, pace and rhythm. Situational context, or just context, where you have things happen. So how can we put this? If you're going to have someone have, and it happens in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that was a comedy, so they broke the situational context. They're having a shootout, right? Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are in the middle of a shootout. They're killing all these assassins that have been sent to kill them, and they're having an argument about their relationship. That's breaking the situational context, the context that, or the situation that conversation is having in, made it a comedy because it was absurd. It's like bang, bang, bang. I cooked that special meal for that man, and he was an actor. He's not even your real father. Doof, 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 doof. Yeah, I had to put up with your mum, and she's not even your mum. Don't you blame me for. At least he was a nice guy, Ted. His name was really Ted. They had this great argument during a gunfight. It was absurd. But if you want to have something that feels really sad, look at The Notebook. When in the rain and they're breaking up and then they get back together, and there's all these things happening in the right situation. If you want to have someone feel really sad, Cocoon 2, I think it is. Hugh Cronin is the actor. He goes in and heals Jessica Tandy with the magical power. It's a 50-year-old film or something, if I'm not spoiling anything. And he's giving away all his life to save his wife. now that they've come back to Earth. And she realises it, and he just lays in her arms. He just says, I'm very tired now. And she pats him, and it's so sad and so poignant. But if you set that in a roller disco, it wouldn't work. But have it in a hospital room where he's got to choose whether she dies or he dies, and he chooses himself. It is the perfect situation, the perfect location, the perfect way to set it. So where you set it, the situation and the context of that situation is all tone. It is all tone. And choose the right one if you want your tone. Fast-paced things, the Fast and the Furious. It's set in a workshop where they fix cars and they do things like that. It's not set in a billionaire's car collection. That wouldn't make sense. It's gritty, it's fast, it's criminal, it's all those things. The situation, the context makes the tone for those films. The last one is your theme and your context. Your theme and your subtext. How the people talk, the messages they're saying that they're not saying, and the theme. Is it about a father-son relationship? That will set the tone. A lot of the time, how people relate to each other is tonal. Are they speaking in direct things? Are they one of those people that sort of say, look, you've disappointed me immensely, and I don't think I'm ever going to get over this, so you better go and give me a chance to think about it? Well, they're a subtext person that goes, look, I just need a little bit of space. I think it's better if you go and talk to your sister for a little while, and because she needs your help as much as I do, and that will allow me to focus on something over here, and that's just like, get away with me so I can think. This is all tone as well. Does this person speak that way? What's the subtext in this conversation? If there is no subtext, it's all sitting on the surface, they're all bubbly people, that's all comedy, where they say what they think and they think what they say. If it's deeper, it's down here, it's a tone. If it's gangsters, it's all action, not much subtext. The subtext is all threat. And then what's the theme? If you've got it's redemption. It's a man at the end of his career. He wanted to be successful one last time. He can't handle that he's not being successful. Over at, I'll put it up here, whatever it's called. It's on the school platform. It doesn't matter, Screenwriter Social. They have a little monthly challenge. I suggest everyone go there. It's such a great little community. Just hang out for the challenges. Every month they say, okay, we're going to have 3 pages this month. It's going to be about this, this, and this. Off you go, and you write it. And everyone just reads each other's and gives notes. And it's a fun little thing to do. I can normally knock it out in the first couple of hours. I give you 3 pages, I put them together, bang. This month they asked for something in fantasy. And I'm not a fantasy writer. They wanted that sort of, so I didn't know what to do. So I wrote a character that started in this world and ended up in a fantasy world. And I knew how to write a broken person. And the theme of this was, if you had a chance to fix the things that were wrong with you and live in a situation that wasn't what you normally live in, would you do it? So he's a cop, he's broken, he doesn't have a family, he's actually lost his leg in a gunfight, and he's going to think of ending his own life. And then he goes off to this magical world where he's got his legs back and they're treating him like a god. And someone says to him, but it's like Iron Age, Bronze Age. It's like very, very basic hand tools. People are dying of preventable diseases. But he's got his life back. He's important to these people because he's got modern technology in his brain that he can help them. He knows how to make a wheel. He knows how to do things because he's come from a modern world, and they treat him really good. And someone comes to him who's a fellow traveller from the future and says to him, I found a way to get back to where we come from. So he would go back to a modern world, back to people he knew, back to some family that he may have. But he was willing to give up everything that he already knew for not being broken. So that is a tone. That is the theme, and the tone of the script was only 5 pages, followed that. That's this week's, We're talking about tone. Again, thank you for everyone who helps out. And until next time, keep writing. Bye, guys.